What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be going around South Pasadena and visiting quite a few of the Rob Zombie Halloween 2007 film and locations. Not going to get all of them. Going to get most of the key spots, leaving out a few, like the sanitarium, which was the hospital in Halloween 2, a couple other spots, but getting most of the important ones because it is that time of year. And I'm in the area. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Let's go. So as the film begins, we open up to the sounds of Kiss's God of Thunder, Gene slapping his bass. Maybe he's picking it, but love that song. And there it is, the Myers house from Rob Zombie's Halloween, which they only used the living room scene was filmed in there. The interiors were actually done in the People Under the Stairs house from that Wes Craven film. Total different side of Los Angeles. And here it is, the Myers house from Rob Zombie's Halloween. Also used in My So-Called Life, is the house for My So-Called Life with Claire Danes. Yeah. Nobody lives in this residence. It's basically just used for filming. And this is what Zombie selected as the Myers house for 2007's Halloween. Here's the house, looking just about the same. Different color, of course, now. They had some extra fences up in the film, but this is what it looked like right at the beginning of the 2007 film. Notice the address is 132. It's actually 1110. Pasadena Unified School District Administration. Right here stood in as the elementary school that Michael attended in Rob Zombie's Halloween. And so you see a shot where there's a bike rack around this vicinity and Michael's just heading in to school. All right, so here's Michael's school in the film here on El Centro in South Pasadena. Standing right where these bike racks would have been. I'm pretty sure that's Michael there to the left going into school. The bully is coming across the road and grabs a kid's hat, horks in it, asks him if he wants it, and just throws it on the ground. But young Michael, scoping him out. Michael had a little tussle with the bullies, and then his mom was called to come from the Rabbit in Red over to the school to address the issue. But those interior shots were not filmed in here, to my knowledge, where they had a camera shot of Michael looking through all these branches. A very special camera shot they used, but watching the bully, he then trails the bully, give him his due, with a gigantic tree trunk, similar to this. A night had fallen and no one would take Michael trick-or-treating. He actually sat right here. A young actor would have been sitting here playing 10-year-old Michael as the kids were going by. There was more fencing up at that time. The area's changed a little. It was 15 years ago, 15th anniversary of these locations. That's what I'm covering. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Michael stood here. I don't think Love Hurts was a very good choice of song for this, and I don't know why, if he could murder a kid from school, why he couldn't just take himself trick-or-treating. It's a nice neighborhood. But then it was right in there, right in that very window, you saw him prepping to murder William Forsythe's character. And that was right in there. He duct taped him to the chair and slit his throat wide open. Cool blood effect they used. That was filmed in there. They also used the main staircase when he's talking to his mother, Deborah Myers, played by Sherry Moon Zombie. So they used the stairwell. Just those interiors. The rest was filmed elsewhere. Michael's sitting on the curb outside of the house. The fence is not there anymore. I think that lamppost was put up for the film as well. However, you can see the trick-or-treaters there around him. Michael just sitting on the curb right here. Here's another still of the house from the 2007 film. The right front window that they used the living room interior for, and Michael holding the curtain over, watch the trick-or-treaters go by before doing in with William Forsythe's character. Michael sat here with baby Boo, which was Lori, probably only 1.5, 2 years old. He sat there, and Cherry Moon Zombie came home from work wondering why he's out here. And oh, there was a good reason. Judith was dead. Her boyfriend was dead. Her boyfriend was also dead. Ronnie, right there in the living room. Oh, it was a horrific scene. The news reporters are here. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie, actually, here at 110 Glendon. When all the reporters are out here, they're talking about her being stabbed 17 times, her boyfriend Stephen Haley's body found with his head bashed in, and Michael was over here. It's kind of a still shot, and then it pans over to here. I'm guessing they didn't have the car up here. Maybe it was right here on the road, but it was just over here on the side of the house. And once that screenshot got to Michael, look at this monstrous tree. Look at that. The size of the roots. Only in South Pasadena, baby. Look at that. Look at this. It's like a monster. Something straight out of a Tim Burton film. Look at this. This is right outside, which was the Haddonfield High School in Rob Zombie's film. Look at the size of the roots. They cover this whole property. That must be hard to weed and whack and trim around. But there is a scene from the film where Michael arrives to rush his Tom Sawyer at the truck stop. Now, they actually filmed the truck stop somewhere else, but the interior shot of where he meets Joe Grizzly and gets his suit was actually filmed in here. Probably just in one of these areas. They created the makeshift bathroom, and that was a real fight. Joe Grizzly was trying to squeeze out his Taco Supreme Deluxe. Michael needed a suit. He had business to take care of here in Haddonfield. So they did the interior shots to that bathroom scene where they really did beat the crap out of each other. They did that somewhere here in this building. The truck stop scene. You get a good shot of the Strode house from this angle. And it's basically when you see we're back in Haddonfield in the Rob Zombie film. Quite a while into the film, a good 45 minutes or more into the film to be back in Haddonfield on Halloween. And that's the shot you get from about this angle. Family was in there making breakfast. The mom from E.T. That morning, she's instructed to go drop off the envelope at the Myers house. Here's them right at the front steps by the sidewalk. See Mason Strode leaving right here, coming out in the morning. He gave the key to Lori to go drop off at the Myers house, and she knew it was important, but she didn't know why would an adoptive father give her the key or to drop anything off at the Myers house. They were coming to look at it when she had a very dark history and was kind of involved with the Myers family. So Mason Strode left for work right here. Lori went her way and he went his way. Lori comes down over this way, coming around this corner, and meets up with Tommy Doyle around here as they take their walk up to the Myers house, and he's giving her fair warning. Of course, she's not listening to a single word he's saying, but they make their way this way to the Myers house. And she brought the envelope her father gave her up to the front door, and Michael was just on the other side of the door, and you can hear Tommy. I love the stonework in the house. It looks great. She slid the envelope in there. Michael gave it a good sniff. And then you see a shot out here, and her and Tommy head off to school.
Oh yeah, I know he was, but he got out of it. You know.
The library, very close, right across the street to the original Strode house, which is just over here. And if you remember, there's a scene where they're looking out of some of these windows, and Lori spots Michael standing by the tree over here. Very large Michael. In my opinion, he was a little too large, but that's the original Strode house from '78. That's where she sees him. But they weren't actually in this building, which is an actual library, even though they were in a library. That location, interior location, is somewhere else in Los Angeles completely. But that's the angle you get. She was looking at Michael standing there, still had no clue who he was. Here at the library community room, 1115 El Centro. This actually acted as the high school in Rob Zombie's Halloween, and you see Laurie and Linda coming out. It's pretty cool. She's rocking a badass Rain in Blood Slayer shirt. 86, gotta love it. That must have been Rob Zombie who told her to put that on, and they kind of went this way, as she's talking about Lady Fuckface, before they continue their walk home from school. Alright, so here's a shot of the library, which was Haddonfield High School. In the film, you see Laurie and Linda walking out of school, and all they did was just put Haddonfield High School there over the library sign. Walking right now, right where the girls were walking home from school, Rob Zombie's Halloween. In fact, when they're about at this opening here, they spot Michael just over here, and Danielle Harris's character shouts at him, "Hey jerk," or something like that. "My daddy's the sheriff, why don't you crawl back under your rock?" Not something I would shout to a man who was standing over here at about 7'4". I think they made the Michael Myers a little big in Rob Zombies, but he was standing right about over here, and she spotted him from over there. Here's a shot right here of Michael, almost like he's standing in the shadows. The girl's walking by that stone opening there, someone's driveway. They're right in front of it when they notice he's standing across the road, just up the way a bit. Just about here, where Brad Dourif, voice of Chucky, stops here playing Sheriff Brackett. Good casting by Rob Zombie to get Brad Dourif, Chucky, to play Sheriff Brackett. So he pulled up right here, close to the original cornerstone here, where the girls are walking in the 1978 version. And he pulls up here to ask them if they want to ride. So Linda takes her ride home. Oh, no, sorry. Annie took her ride home. It was Linda that said, "Bacon-mobiles make me nauseous." Brad Dourif is parked right here. Show a shot of that right against this wall, just directly beside the original Highland Street right here from the original Halloween, where Jamie Lee Curtis, PJ Souls, and Annie walk around this cornerstone here. Used to be a big tree right here, now it's a stop sign. Here's that stone corner monument here on Highland and Fairview, and there's Brackett before pulling off with Annie, and then Laurie continued on home. So after Brad Dourif playing Brackett drives off with Annie, Linda takes off her direction and Laurie walks this way. Same pathway that the original Laurie Strode went down with her friends, but this time she was alone, and there's these flashes between these exact trees where she's walking home. Then after it passes a certain tree, it shows Michael. Michael was walking this way as well, just on her tail, as she head down here to where the Strode house from the Rob Zombie film is. Here to the right of the Strode residence when Laurie returns home from school with Michael tailing behind her, and her mom was fixing the skeleton on the lawn. Strode residence from Rob Zombie's Halloween. They had blocked out the palm trees so you couldn't see them. When Michael was tailing Laurie, she arrived home right over here. Her mom was still messing with the skeleton, trying to get the bones into the sockets, and Michael was just across the street here watching everything going on, scoping out the scene for the dark night which lay ahead. Yeah, that is the Liar Liar house right there, by the way, next door to the Strode house. Final shot here of Michael as he'd walked right up to the property and they were just heading inside. Had no idea he was right at the edge of the lawn. Nightfall had fallen. You see a couple of Laurie's friends pull up in that blue van. I think they actually pulled into a laneway here and talking about how they were going to sell this place or tear it down and they'd have to find a new place to party. They head up here into the front door to get their Halloween party going. Just up there in the darkness stood Michael. It's time for his party to begin. And it would have been in the Myers house that he killed Linda's boyfriend right at the top of the stairs, pinning him to the wall with the knife, then putting the ghost sheet in that classic 78 gag, and then strangling her. Laurie was waiting for Annie to pick her up that night. There's some banter that was taking place here on the steps just outside the front door. Mason Strode was talking to his wife and telling them it's amateur night, telling Laurie to be careful. Then Annie picked her up and they head out for Halloween night. And Mason Strode and his wife were about to have a drink and enjoy their evening. And Michael actually came from the left pole there. Very interesting window here to the right. It's the easiest way to pick out this house. I didn't notice that it was actually stained glass in there. I wish I could get closer, but being respectful. Being respectful. They got some nice cacti in here. Humongous swing from that branch. Yeah, so the demise of the Strode parents, which you don't see in the original. Kudos to Rob Zombie for that. Right here, the Strode residence. Here's a shot as Annie pulled up to pick up Laurie here of the house at nighttime, and Mason and his wife sitting on the front step right before Michael would show up and crash the party. Left of the residence there would have been, well, sorry, it's just a house for filming. I guess not really a residence. Said it was used in My So-Called Life with Claire Danes. All these houses, you see these houses in that show as well. They're all been probably used in films or shows at some point. And there's a makeshift kind of shed area where he gets his knife and mask back. That would have been where he had the whole showdown with Laurie, which ends up culminating out of there through the backyard where there's now, I don't even know if it's a filled-in pool. The pool area was back there. It's not there anymore. I think the pool's been filled in, but eventually they end up on top of this balcony toward the end of the film, and this is where they came off the balcony.
I do believe it was.
Smash Laurie out of the cop car. You can see him take her up the front walkway right here where I'm standing right now. By the end, they end up here on the balcony, and Michael runs Laurie right off the balcony, landing here. I guess when they filmed that, and Tyler Mane playing Michael, his stunt double and the stunt double for Laurie had gotten hurt in one of the final scenes of the night. That happened right here in the wee hours of the morning. Big fan of Sean Clark, who tells that story. He was actually watching just in this general vicinity. So they come off here in the movie, and then Laurie somehow wakes up first and has the gun in her hand. She's covered in blood. As soon as Michael grabs her hand, she finally gets the shot off. Blood all over her face. Michael and Laurie, after the final showdown, coming off of the balcony right here at the Myers house, right onto the walkway. There are stunt doubles. Interesting shot I wanted to show here is Laurie sitting on top of Michael before shooting him, finally getting that shot off. You can see that staircase right through the front door there, which they did use. Like I said, all the stonework beside the steps there looks the same. This is one pretty much the final scene of the movie right here. It's pretty cool. They did utilize that staircase there that you see through the front door and the living room at the right. Glendon Crescent, the street turns into a crescent, were the credit scenes at the end, and you see young Michael riding a bike, smashing the crap out of something as well with a bat. Rob Zombie had that filmed all right here along this fence. And you can see these houses in the shots as well. It was a real honor to go around and check out some of the spots from Rob Zombie's 2007 reimagining of Halloween. I love his version of the film. Maybe he made Michael a little too big. It was great visiting some of those spots while we were in the area where most of the deaths occur. Left out a few spots for the future, however. It was fun to visit those spots in South Pasadena. Please like, please subscribe. Never know what you may be missing if you don't subscribe to the Mr. Thrasha Show and tune in. Never know where we'll be or what we'll be doing. Thanks again, everybody. Hope you have a happy Halloween. Please join me on Twitter or Instagram. We'll see you next time on the Mr. Thrasha Show.